Okay, well, I think it was around in December that I first met with you. And at that time, you bought some little brochures for us to fill out. That was the only part that I did not like. And I was like, now what in the world did this have to do with what we're doing here? And, I had a lot of questions going in my mind. Matter of fact, I don't even think that I completed filling it out. And it was kind of boring. And I was like, oh my God, are these people going to come back again? Are we going to have to do this again?
You know what? I still have your booklet. If you want to finish it, I can send it to you.
Okay. So, it was very boring then, and I didn't. Now, the next time y'all came back, I noticed on the table, it was a box, and in this box, you had yarn in it. So it was like, okay, yarn. Now what are they gonna do with this yarn? So I was sitting there during the meeting and I kept on looking over at the box of yarn. I was, I wanted to touch it. I just wanted to get in. I wanted to find out what y'all gonna do with this yarn. So finally we got to the point that I asked what we were gonna do with the yarn. And I was told that you was there and you were gonna teach us knitting and for crocheting. And you gave us a thing of yarn that particular day. And that was beginning to kind of get my interest into the group because you finally kind of hit where my heart was. And I said, well, maybe they're not so bad. I gave them the wrong expression the first time that we met. From that point on, I mean, actually, at that point also, you began to kind of take my heart away from me. I was beginning to look at you, the kindness and the love that you have in you. And that kind of was like, oh my God, this is a nice lady. I wish I could get to know her more. And I wasn't sure how often you was going to come in or stuff like that. And then you began to come in and you bought other projects. And I fell in love with the puzzle. I mean, that was my heart. The first time we met, and we met at this church, and I can't remember the name of it right now. St. Martin, across from Bon Secours. When I came in there that day, I had agreed to do some crocheting. But I wound up going over there to the table and I just fell in love with the saw. I have to really tell you, your husband is a wonderful teacher. Because one of the things, if somebody had told me that I was going to stick my hands up in there and I was going to round up doing those different designs, I would have told them no. Because I was afraid, I might get cut or something like that. And he's an excellent teacher because he showed me what to do. He took a few steps back to see what I was doing. And then he, came back up, corrected me, turned the wood a little bit, and I fell in love with it at that time. I bought some of my own work down that day to show, but I just fell in love with the saw at that time. I wanted to learn how to do the transferring of photos onto the cloth, but I was just, in love with the saw. So I didn't learn it that particular day, but a friend of mine, Eunice, she did it. And you took some pictures of my grandkids and you put it on a piece of cloth, and I brought that home and I tried to put that on a pillow, but unfortunately it was beginning to start cracking. Yeah, it really did. It didn't hold up that well. You had said to us that it was another finishing part to it, but the pictures actually started cracking if I wasn't able to do it. But Eunice, she had brought in this white material. So you started putting her family picture on the white material. So that holds up a little bit better. Okay, next of all, like I said, that particular day I did not even go near to learn how to do it. And I was like, okay, the next time I go down there, I'm going to do it. But again, the next time I round up back over there again with the saw again. I began to tell my friends about it and to show them what I had done, and they was amazed with me, the pictures that you took of me when I was putting one of your puzzles together, and you in turn put that one on a puzzle, and they kind of, how did she do this? Did she really paint it, or, exactly? And when I was trying to explain to them, it was done with regular, paper. They couldn't halfway believe that it was done with regular paper. So it was a learning experience that I treasure with life. And then I came up with this wonderful idea because I never seen anybody up here do it. Why not want to start a business? So I got on the phone, I called my sons and I told them, and they, Ma, you really don't want to do this. Ma, what are you going to do? Ma, do you know how much this, what you're asking for? And it's going to be something that you're not going to do. And I kept telling them, I said, I'm telling you, I'm excited about it. I liked it. I want to do it. So they said, well, we'll see what happens in September. So I'm like, oh God, I gotta wait till September for one. Then my son called me up and told me that he saw a hand one that was like $29. He said, you can play with that and find out, do you like it? No, that's not what I want. I want to be able to turn around and stuff like that. So they said, well, you know, September to come and find out, do you really want it in September as a birthday present? So I was like, oh my God, but I mean, it was so much fascinating. And even down, I told my friends about it, and each one of them, they got excited and they wanted to be a part of it. And, you know, then people began to ask other questions like, why they're not advertising it? Is it only for the people of Silver Seniors? You know, is it only a Bon Secours thing? Well, I began to tell them, hey, the only thing you do is come there and they turn you away, you know, that's their problem. But they came, they enjoy it. Unfortunately, some of them had other obligations and could not return, but they can't wait. They want to know when you're coming back. So, you know.
And we'll keep that in mind. We'll invite them every day. So
yes.
Keep your list of names.
I mean, there's quite a few people. And matter of fact, yesterday, there was a lady who came up and she even gave me her phone number. Because she said, well, you know, when they come back and you know that they're coming back, let me know. A couple people came up and said, you know, when Bon Secours, I'm going to check at Bon Secours and find out when these people are coming back so I can learn to do some of these things too.
So you have a question now. You have seen some of the videos that were made with other program and exchange. What do you think of those?
Okay, I was amazed by some of the kids, especially one little particular girl. I mean, she was old before her time. The question, well, some of the answers that the kids gave, and they turned it into a question back to us, was really kind of surprising. I didn't expect for them to do that. I was looking for them to say, all right, you know, we got to agree with these old people and leave it alone. But they didn't. They came back with other questions. I wish that other schools was included too in it. It seemed like it was the same kids repeating it on the video instead of, you know, different faces. So I kind of like that. And then when I met with the GED group, well, the first girl that I met with the GED group, I felt like she was young and she was immature. She had a lot of questioning about something else that I was interested in, and that's politician. So it was like, I asked you about whether or not it was possible that we can bring in one of the politicians, and you said fine, and you know, we had to arrange it around his schedule, but he did get there. And he was really impressed with the group too. He said that there were some things that definite, that they asked for that was easy to accomplish. He told me that he wished he had known about it before. He encouraged me to try to get some of the other people that I know to go down there and talk to him about other things that is part of life development. I felt that the girls needed a lot of guidance. They needed to be, you know.
And you know, a lot of guidance was given to them through Miss Eva,
Yes.
who passed away after a few months. We worked together. That was done. And instead of working with the girls on the project, we switched to that.
They kind of feel though, I mean, I felt a lot of, she didn't tell us that she was that sick. We didn't know that she was going to die. So they were dealing with something that was really strong. And I felt like maybe sometimes they might have needed professional help to get through this. Especially when they kept saying she didn't tell us. She kept it to herself. Then they was quite concerned about when her funeral was going to be, whether or not they were going to be invited to be a part of it. I just learned recently from one of the girls that she hadn't been buried yet. So, no, she had not. And she was concerned about that. I just heard that yesterday. So she was concerned about, well, you know, when are they going to bury her? Are they going to let us know when they bury her? So, and I tried to explain to her that, unfortunately, dealing with VA, once you surrender the body over to the government, it becomes their property. And they will bury her, but they're going to do it at their time and when it's convenient to them. But she was kind of a little bit upset about that, and whether or not she would be a part of it. It seemed like I never met this Miss Eva. But from what the girls said about her, I think she was a wonderful teacher.
And she was wonderful to help them understand our projects and with.
Yeah, because I remember one young lady was saying that she had a problem and how Miss Eva took her into the office to talk to her and how much better she felt afterwards. And it's kind of a shame that it wasn't a Miss Eva to help them get over this loss.
Yeah. She had a principle that was everything can be said. Never keep it with you if you feel it within this classroom.
What do you think you learned in working with Eileen and this project that means a lot to you?
I learned to make puzzles. I mean, the girl next door to me, she was telling me, she said, you know what, can you turn around and do something for our elementary, well, she got like a daycare, and she was telling me, can I do something with the daycare? Like the numbers, and she said, because they buy wooden puzzles. And I told her, I said, well, just tell me what you want, and I'll see if I can get it designed and stuff on there. So I told her, as long as it's not Sesame Street, because Sesame Street have a copyright on their stuff and they don't play. So, you know. So it looked like it's going to be wonderful. I have called up another senior center and talked to one of the residents about whether or not they would be interested in me bringing it up there and who would come get it. For me to come up there, because I want to show it to them. I want to run around the city. Excuse me. I want to run around the city. And I live in a house in a neighborhood that I have really seen go down. You know.
And what's the neighborhood?
Okay, the neighborhood that I'm in is actually called Rosemount Homeowners and Tenants Association. At one time, the highway to nowhere, those houses was bought by the city, and it was supposed to have been part of that highway. Well, they found out that they could not bring the highway up because of the MARC train. So what they did, they turned around and sold the houses back to the residents. And I have seen, you know, it's a shame because a lot of the elderly who started off up there have died off. Some of them have even lost their homes. So, and the children weren't able to keep them. So it's a new group moving there now.
Mm-hmm. And does that group have an investment in the community, or
no?
They're there for the money?
No. Okay, we have people that come in there who, their thing is investment. You know, I understand that the houses in my block now rent from $900 to $1,000 a month, which is a joke to me.
It's a lot.
I was not even paying that much mortgage. And to hear that people are saying that. And then the other thing is, why would anybody even want to pay that type of rent? Most of the houses are being subsidized. A lot of people are moving in and they have no value at all for the neighborhood.